Well, thank you very much, and thank you, Janet, for that introduction. This is a conversation, so we'll keep it free-flowing. But I thought Danny in particular, just to introduce a perspective on mega sports. You know, the mega sports events like the Olympics, like the FIFA World Cup, are really big business. And you know, we see a lot of the blurring of the lines between how we viewed amateur sport compared to what is professional sport. And today, if we look at mega sport events, they are awash with corporate sponsorships, spectacular revenues from TV rights, you know. And so the ordinary citizen really struggles to make sense of the billions of dollars that surrounds an event like this, and particularly the extremely poor, of what is the real benefit to them. So what is the cost and benefit to a country, and more particularly in the context of the discussion around human rights and development, what is the impact or the benefit for ordinary people?
So I cannot say that mega sport is the friend of the promotion of human rights. The event is also an opportunity for those who have, and whether it is the trade unions, whether it is the movement of the landless people that we've seen here, or any other cause, it is an opportunity, a platform to raise these causes. And that is what we try to do in this delivering of this World Cup, to be aware of those challenges. So what we've done, in terms of the Legacy One, we worked with the program of Kick It Out. It's polio, and the Ghana team in the World Cup, as you may have seen, supported the program, and it was running, and it is in the net, to buy nets and to distribute nets, so that when they sleep that they have a net over them. And the gap between rich and poor in society is reflected in rich and poor clubs and rich and poor players, and that divide is worsening. So sport mirrors what's happening in society. So
I think what we're trying to establish is what is the relationship between mega events like the Olympics and the FIFA World Cup or the International Rugby Championship and human rights. And I think in your introduction, it's quite clear that there's actually no relationship. These events are about business. I mean, FIFA and Sepp Blatter and his executives walk away from South Africa with £2 billion tax-free. In the sales pitch, this is what's pointed out, that in fact it's a development objective we have in hosting such a bigger event. And everything you've said, from the challenges of malaria or polio on the continent, I mean, I think if one is looking at the relationship between these mega events and human rights and development, it's a very tenuous linkage. And therefore, we should admit that and accept that as the reality. You know, that in a sense of legacy, beyond the set of centers that have been set up for the decision to award Qatar the FIFA World Cup in 2022. I mean, I'm a trade union leader, and I know that 80% of workers in Qatar are immigrants, and they are banned from having trade unions representing them. So I'm trying to understand, is that not only are we saying that these mega events are events that are about business, but consciously you ignore completely in the decision-making process the issue of human rights. I mean,
historically, these mega events has never been the friend of human rights, and you can go back and see that it puts an acceptable face for a totally unacceptable system in these countries. So the national political situation in the country is not considered at all.
The way in which they remove, for example, local hawkers, local entrepreneurs, declare a whole radius of probably 1.5 kilometers around the stadium that no one can participate. And even where the merchandise is provided, I mean, one of the big criticisms here from the unions was that most of the T-shirts and paraphernalia came from suppliers in China, not from South Africa. So how difficult was that an issue for us here?
The argument, they say, we want an exclusive zone around the stadium because the fans and the players will come in and you must secure it. So you cannot allow a hawker to come and sell there because you don't know. There's no security checks, you don't know who are the people, and because of what happened around major events, there's a huge level of nervousness around the security, securing the event. So whether that was a convenient argument or not, and one of the problems that we have, that even if you source, some of the suppliers would source from China, cut the label and put another label. And where we discovered those things, we immediately said, no, we terminate your contract. So we insisted that local producers, local manufacturers must be used.